Winning an NBA championship can change the entire perception of a player's career. Take Dirk Nowitzki for example. For years, Dirk was labeled as a choker, a fraud who can never live up to the big moment. But in a split second, it changed. In 2011, he broke through, won the title, and he was suddenly revered as one of the game's greatest players. A guy who came through when it mattered. Dirk is proof that one championship can change a player's legacy, which is why the 2021 NBA Finals were so meaningful. For years, Giannis and the Bucks failed to reach the mountaintop. The media doubted him, but in 2021, he broke through. He has a chance to silence his critics and cement himself as an all-time great, just as Dirk did 10 years ago. And it's exactly what Chris Paul is trying to do as well. With the addition of the point guard, the Phoenix Suns went from dumpster fire at the bottom of the league standings to legit championship contenders, catapulting themselves to the finals in what might just be CP3's best and only shot at capturing that elusive title. I'm telling you, legacies were on the line in the 2021 NBA Finals, and the pressure to win was at its absolute peak. They're finally here. Giannis and the Bucks are in the NBA Finals, and considering what happened last year, it's a bit of a surprise. Flashback to about a year and a half ago, and the Bucks were in cruise control. They were dominating and found themselves atop the NBA standings. And then everything stopped. The season was suspended with its future up in the air. Questions had to be answered, and 4 months later, they were. The NBA would return in mid-July at a neutral site in Florida called The Bubble, and the good vibes kept going for the Bucks. Giannis was named the league's MVP for the second consecutive season and the Defensive Player of the Year. With the best player in the league on their team, the Bucks had high hopes headed into the playoffs, until they got smacked in the face. In an absolute stunner, Milwaukee lost in round 2 to the 5th seed Miami Heat in 5 games. The back-to-back MVP and Defensive Player of the Year on the best team in the NBA couldn't get it done. Will Giannis ever win a championship? Is he really the best player in the NBA? His legacy is in jeopardy. The criticism was loud, plus add on the fact that he was headed into the final year of his contract and the speculation that he'd leave was through the roof. But during the offseason, everything calmed down. The Bucks traded for one of the league's premier defenders in Jrue Holiday. Thrilled with the move to improve the team, Giannis signed a Supermax extension in December. And just like that, all systems were a go. Milwaukee didn't dominate like they had the previous season, but they still finished 3rd in the East, setting up a first-round matchup against the team that sent them home a year ago. The Bucks faced their demons and swept the Heat, but in round 2 against the Brooklyn Nets, they'd faced some serious adversity. To the hands of Harden, Kyrie, and Durant, Milwaukee found themselves in an 0-2 hole, but luck broke their way. Kyrie got injured, James Harden was hobbled, and the Bucks had the edge, storming back to win the series in one of the greatest Game 7s ever played, leading to an Eastern Conference Finals face-off against the Atlanta Hawks. Through 3 games, the Bucks were clearly the better team and up 2-1 in the series, but in the 3rd quarter of Game 4, their title hopes flashed right before their eyes. Giannis suffered a gruesome hyperextension to his left knee, missing the rest of Game 4 and the entirety of Games 5 and 6. It was bad, however, Milwaukee would rally. They won Games 5 and 6 without Giannis to clinch a finals appearance for the first time in 47 years. Antetokounmpo is doubtful to make a return in Game 1 of the finals, which is trouble for Milwaukee because their opponent is on the hunt for deer. The Phoenix Suns are not supposed to be in these NBA Finals. They're not supposed to be this good, yet here they are. But let's go back to over a year ago, and as it's been for the last half-decade, Phoenix found themselves near the bottom of the standings and 13 games below 500 by the time the season got suspended. Come July, the NBA was back, and the Suns made the cut to be one of 22 teams invited to the bubble to make a late playoff push. And just to give themselves a shot, they had to be perfect. Surprisingly, they were. In the 8 seeding games, the Suns won a perfect 8-0, but missed the play-in game by a tiebreaker with the Grizzlies. It sucked, but it wasn't a complete failure. For the first time in years, Phoenix showed life. They gave themselves momentum headed into next season, and help was on the way. During the offseason, the Suns traded for the point guard, and he was exactly the offensive maestro they needed to make everything click. And click they did. Phoenix took the league by storm, finishing second in the West with a 51-win season, 17 more wins than last year. The Suns were for real, and they were put to the test right away. In round 1 of the playoffs, they faced the defending champion Lakers, winning the series in 6 and proving that they were legit. In round 2, they'd battle against the MVP from Denver, sending them home in 4. And in the Western Conference Finals, they'd face one last challenge: Chris Paul's former team. They'd survived the test in 6, and the NBA's biggest surprise clinches an appearance in the finals. It's been a dream season so far for the Suns. Will it be capped off with a championship, or is it too good to be true? Entering Game 1 of the finals, Giannis was cleared to play, and that was bad news for the Suns because his knee was looking good. In the first half, he threw down a forceful slam and had a LeBron-esque block on Mikal Bridges near the end of the second quarter. Giannis was back, but his effort didn't result in a lead. Phoenix was up 8 headed into halftime, and in the third quarter, in his first finals appearance of his 16-year career, the point guard took over.
Chris Paul, a 6-foot American dime-dropping wizard. Codename Point God. Welcome to the final CP.
Paul's got to do something with it. 24-second clock winding down. Fires up a 3. It's good! And the foul! 2-rebound game in these playoffs. Paul, 8. What a connection! Portis on him once again.
And they've gone back to switching with Lopez out.
Paul on the drive. Layup is good! Force a switch. Get out of my way. Paul for 3. Bang!
Chris Paul lit up the Bucks for 16 points in the third quarter as part of a 32-point, 9-assist finals debut. The Suns dominated the second half, and that's all she wrote. Phoenix strikes first and win Game 1. In Game 2, trying to avoid an 0-2 series deficit, Giannis came out with absolute force. Just a minute and a half into the game, he threw down 2 emphatic slams to set the tone for his squad. However, the first half remained tight, and the Suns were getting a full team effort, highlighted by this unreal play with 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. The Suns swung the ball around for a 10-pass extravaganza that resulted in an and one for DeAndre Ayton, and the crowd goes berserk. Giannis legitimately did everything he could in Game 2 with a 42-point, 12-rebound, 4-assist, 3-block performance. But it was answered by a full team effort for Phoenix, and Chris Paul can taste it. Teams that take a 2-0 series lead in the finals go on to win the title 86% of the time. He's never been closer to a ring, but at the same time, this series is far from over. If Milwaukee were to go down 0-3 in the series, their championship hopes would be flying out the window. So I introduce to you Game 3 Giannis.
Antetokounmpo sidestep, layup, got it! Holiday inside, Antetokounmpo! Antetokounmpo looking to go one-on-one, draw, drives past Bridges, gets the rebound, back up, banks it in, and a foul! Back to Antetokounmpo!
Giannis turned into the Greek Freak for a masterful 41, 13, and 6 performance on 60% shooting for his second consecutive 40-point game of these finals. The man was an absolute animal, but it wasn't just Giannis this game. The whole Bucks squad was clicking on all cylinders, emphasized by a ridiculous passing play leading to a Bobby Portis dunk at the end of the second quarter to go up 15. But in the third, one play nearly swung the entire game.
Throws it down, and a blocking foul called on Tucker. Cameron Johnson.
At the 8-minute mark, Cam Johnson flies down the court, soars through the air, and absolutely posterizes PJ Tucker. This play sparked a 14-5 run for the Suns to get within 4. but Milwaukee responded with pure fire. A 24-6 run to end the third quarter secured the win for Milwaukee. Giannis was Superman, and the Bucks survive. In a crucial Game 4 for both teams, Booker and Middleton had an all-out duel, with each guy scoring north of 15 points in the first half. But in the third quarter, D-Book threw a haymaker.
Trying to shoot, Booker steps back. Hits a three! Antetokounmpo picks up Booker, left-handed once again. Playing with the 4 fouls. One-on-one with Connaughton. Oh, another tough shot for Booker. Against Holiday, gets inside, flips it up, flips it in. Devin Booker putting on a show here in the third quarter.
An electric 18-point explosion from Booker on a perfect 7 of 7 shooting gave the Suns a 6-point advantage headed into the fourth quarter. However, Middleton was about to answer with an uppercut. In the final 12 minutes, he turned it on for a 14-point response. I mean, these guys were going to war with each other. Booker finished the game with 42 and Middleton poured in 40. It was nuts, but in the end, Middleton got the last laugh. With 1:30 to go, he drains a fading jumper to put the Bucks up 2. And then, Giannis happens.
Now Booker with Tucker on him, throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo! What a block from Giannis!
The dude seemingly leaped from one side of the paint to the other to stuff what would be a guaranteed lob against any other player. But not Giannis. On the next Suns possession, he picks Chris Paul's pocket, they sprint down the court, and Middleton lays it in to go up 4 and put the game away. They say defense wins championships, and I guess time will tell. Bucks tie the series at 2. Game 5 of an NBA Finals, when the series is tied at 2, is almost always guaranteed to deliver fireworks, and this one was no different. But to get to the light show, we gotta fast forward to the fourth quarter. Milwaukee is up 10, and mayhem is about to unfold. The entire quarter, both teams were flexing their shot-making abilities. It was basketball poetry, and as we entered the final minutes, their greatness was put on full display. With 2.5 minutes to go, Chris Middleton laces a nasty step-back 3 to give the Bucks a commanding 8-point lead. But Devin Booker answers by driving past Giannis and scooping it home, followed by a ridiculous fading 3 over the contested hand of Jrue Holiday to give him 40 points for the second game in a row and get the Suns within 3. Giannis gets fouled, but he clanks both of his free throws, which leads to a Chris Paul push shot to get within 1 with less than a minute remaining. On the next possession, Jrue Holiday comes down and misses a tough floater, which gives Phoenix a chance to take the lead.
Suns have a timeout. Decide not to call it. Booker the drive, gets inside, leans in, knocked away and stolen by Holiday. Phoenix has to foul. Antetokounmpo throws it down. And a foul. Giannis on the alley-oop.
This was the defining moment of these finals. Holiday sneaks in to pick Booker's pocket, and on the fast break, he throws a monstrous lob to Giannis, who flushes home the and one on Chris Paul. It was a movie. That play crushed the Suns and iced the game, and Milwaukee is just one win away from immortality. Legacies were on the line in Game 6. A win tonight can see dreams become a reality. A loss can crush them. And this Game 6 was going to determine the outcome. Or maybe Giannis was. Less than a minute into the game, Antetokounmpo chases down Mikal Bridges and smacks his layup off the backboard, leading directly to a layup at the other end. From this moment, you knew the dude was going to put on a show. Giannis's 10-point first quarter put the Bucks up 13, but CP3 wasn't going to let his championship hopes slip away without a fight. He scored 10 points in the second in what was a massive quarter for the Suns, swinging a 13-point Milwaukee lead into a 5-point edge for Phoenix as they entered halftime. And that did not sit well with Giannis.
Giannis tries a 3. It's good. The Sixers Antetokounmpo goes against Crowder, gets inside, Banker won't go. The rebound, back up and in. One of the best games of his life. Antetokounmpo gets the roll, count it and one. Backs in, leans, pulls up, jump shot, got it. Giannis Antetokounmpo dominating right now.
A monster 20-point third quarter by the Freak was exactly what Milwaukee needed. But Phoenix didn't let up. At the 7:15 mark of the third, Jay Crowder drilled a huge three plus the foul to put Phoenix up 1. And with some help from Booker, the Suns weathered Giannis's surge to keep the game tied, headed into the most important 12 minutes of the season. As good as Giannis was in the third quarter, the dude went to another level in the fourth and was completely unstoppable. He emphatically blocks Booker's scoop shot and then crashes the glass at the other end for the putback to push their lead to 4. Less than a minute later, he gets his 5th block of the night on Booker and then stuffs 3 Suns into the rim on a killer dunk to go up 6. The man was in full takeover mode in the biggest game of his career. In fact, it was one of the greatest performances in NBA Finals history. 50 points, the 6th most in a Finals game ever, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks on 64% shooting. It was Giannis's magnum opus, but he'd need some help to close it out. With just over a minute to go and Milwaukee up 4, who better to put the finishing touches on a title-clinching game than his longtime teammate, Chris Middleton.
Giannis has it to Middleton. Middleton puts up the jumper.
Can you tell us your name?
My name is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
What is your plan?
I become an NBA player.
With the 15th pick in the 2013 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Maybe in 15 years, 20 years, maybe my number is up there next to Kareem or Oscar Robinson. Hope I'm there.
2019 Kia NBA Most Valuable Player goes to Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Our goal is to win a championship, and we're going to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Not only do I not think Giannis is the MVP of the league, I don't have Giannis in my top 10 most valuable.
Listen, this man is right now, he's the most overrated in basketball.
But I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like that takes no skill at all.
And when I watch Giannis, yes, he rebounds, he blocks shots, he defends, he does all those little things. I love what he does, I love him, but he's not gonna close out a game for you.
50 points. It's over. The Bucks have done it. The long wait has ended. After a half century, the Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions once again.
You know, people told me I can't make free throws. I made my free throws tonight, and I'm a freaking champion.